we are very happy to have Frederick moms here. Okay, so can Frederick's mom like try to describe about like how was Frederick's doing way before he started the vision therapy?
Yeah, sure. So basically, when we found out that he had vision issues, it was during the pandemic, and it was a very long time when we were doing online learning, and he didn't have access to his learning or to his curriculum. I had to basically sit down with him, and I was always asking myself, why is it me and no other moms that I can see online? So that was already kind of a bit strange. And then we went back it was in April, and 3 years ago, I think, and we went in, and the teachers immediately kind of red flagged that there was something happening, and we didn't know whether there was some they thought there could be many different things, many different processing issues, and they sent us for some additional testing. Then we did this additional testing, and it was very clear that it was his vision. And this was the first time that I had heard about anything like this. So what we did is that we came here. We were recommended to come to you, and we immediately started his journey through vision therapy. So the problem was basically that Fred didn't have access to the curriculum because he couldn't see. He had tunnel vision and he had wandering eyes. This is in very simple terms, of course. This means he wasn't able to read. He was in year 1 when we started with the lockdown, and he wasn't able to read until he was year 3. So it was a very kind of long journey for him. And also he couldn't do sports. What was for me also very interesting is that when I started to talk about Fred and his behavior in the past, I realized that as a mom I kind of totally misread him. I thought he was always a health and safety guy, whereas actually the truth was that he couldn't see. Like so simple, like when he was a little baby, other babies would go away, I don't know, 3-4 meters away, they would crawl away from their moms. He just couldn't, because he couldn't see me. He would kind of always stay somewhere very, very close next to me. He could touch me. So the first thing that happened is how he started to move. He wasn't clumsy anymore. So that was the biggest change, that all of a sudden he became much more confident in his movements and in his sense of direction. For me, the biggest milestone was actually when we had exactly 1.5 years ago, we had a biathlon in school, and Fred was able actually to swim, change his clothes, and then run all around the school. And because all the teachers and everyone knew a little bit of our story, it was a very emotional moment, because no one knew that he was capable of something like this. So everyone was really clapping, and he couldn't believe it himself, because just maybe a half a year before, he wasn't even able to find his way confidently through school. And he had a bit of anxiety of this, and this really helped. A second milestone was when he really started to read confidently. So now he's really an avid reader. He reads everything. We just went to Kinokuniya and bought so many books. And he could finally kind of have access also to that part of learning, that he could read. So at the beginning the progress was very slow. We couldn't see much, and then all of a sudden, boom,
there's a breakthrough.
There was a breakthrough, and this was a totally changed child. I have to say, very confident, very happy, and really like a bookworm. The last breakthrough for us, because he didn't have access to the curriculum throughout his whole schooling, basically, the school recommended, because he was starting to do so well, and they kind of wanted to support him even more, and also because of the pandemic, everyone was kind of a little bit running behind. They suggested a personal learning assistant, and we were also very lucky, because she was fantastic, and so he would kind of make up for everything that he didn't have access to in terms of learning throughout his whole life. So that really helped a lot. And of course, end of last school year, they told us, they called us in and said, listen, Fred doesn't need any support anymore. We feel he has full access to the curriculum, full access to learning, and we think that from year 5, we should just drop everything. And I was, are you sure?